It's that time of the year again where Solstice is back and we're forced to go to a magical floating island for whatever unknown lore reason. And it's also that time where you guys ask me, is the armor really worth it? And the answer to that question is, of course it is, because it takes all of 2 seconds to get the armor. All you have to do is spawn in the tower and talk to Space Grandma and she will automatically give you the armor, no silver, and no bright dust needed. And you don't even need to play the event if you don't care about the glows, which this year there doesn't seem to be much of. I've never really liked the glows myself, so I personally welcome the more subtle glows, although I feel like I'm in the minority there. So I decided to throw up some polls on my socials and yup, I was definitely in the minority there. You guys hated the fact that there was barely any glow this year, and it looks like you guys also had a lack of motivation because of it. I saw a lot of conversations under Bungie's tweets about the event, talking about how they didn't really have the motivation to even play if there was barely going to be any difference between the standard set and the glowing set. That brings me to our next question. Should I buy the Eververse version of these sets? These are the sets that allow you to change the glow depending on what subclass you have equipped. I'd say it's not completely worth it unless you fall into 2 categories. You really like the armor and you're the type of person who likes making fashion centered around a certain subclass. So what's possible with this armor, and can you be convinced to use these? Let's find out. Well, let's get one thing out of the way. The one thing that's definitely possible with this set is, if you know, you know. After messing around with the sets for about a day, this is what I came up with. And after taking my time with each one, I want to talk about the Warlock first, because that's the one both I and everyone else is most excited about. The set is so much fun to work with, and honestly, if I was still working on my Solstice armor tier list that I made the other day, I would easily put this up in S tier. It's so versatile that you can create a ship captain look with it, kind of like what I did with my own Warlock right here. And I sprinkled in a little bit of pirate in there as well. Or you can do what Strider did, and he literally made Captain Crunch. But oh no, the cosplays do not stop there, because if we have any anime fans watching, then you're going to like this Warlock that Roman Schemer made. He recreated Roy Mustang. It's perfect for all of those Solar 3.0 builds where you just snap away the enemies. But okay, maybe you don't watch a lot of anime, or at least you don't watch Full Metal Alchemist, and maybe you like Reese's Puffs instead of Captain Crunch. Well, you can also get a little vampiric with these 2 hunters. One is going to be from Dark Mustang, one of my mods, and the other one is going to be from Screeb Explosion. But maybe you're a classy and you want something a little bit flashier. Well, Monkey Snell and Zion both have you covered with their Warlocks. I really love the way both of these guys went above and beyond with those color combos, and how they didn't really shy away from using the glows from the sets. And it really doesn't even stop there, because Owen Pappy took the look a little bit further and he made a Warlock that looks like it could be a witch doctor from the Victorian era. I know you saw most people use the robes, but the helmet is also amazing, and I can't wait to start playing around with that one. And the rest of the armor is also really good for filler pieces in other fashion. If you're a Warlock main, you'd be dumb not to at least log in and get the set. And if someone were to ask me which set to buy if they really wanted to spend some bright dust or silver on one of the 3 armor sets, this one would be the only one I'd be comfortable recommending. Let's move on to our Titan. The best way I can describe this set is just plain fun. Certainly not the most useful or the most godly set out there, but while working with the armor, I found myself having a blast experimenting. And it seems like I wasn't alone in that feeling, because I saw a lot of fun Titans out there. For example, this one that Grim Brother made. He decided to make a Dia de los Muertos Titan, which I'm absolutely in love with, and I may end up doing my own version later in the future. I also have another one with a similar vibe from Techno Viking, which resembles a mariachi. I saw a lot of people saying they were going to make one using this vest, and so far this is my favorite one. Okay, now let's switch it up a little bit and play around with the helmet, because using that you can create some cool knight fashion, and you guys know how much I like my knights. For example, this Solar Knight from Kalado, the perfect fashion for my hammer throwing bros. And that brings me back to the topic that I was talking about earlier. If you're after elemental specific fashion, those are the people that I would recommend grab the Eververse version of the set. I feel as though that is holding this specific set back just a little bit. Or maybe you're after something a little bit more regal. If you are, go ahead and check out this set from one of my mods, Robin, which gives me all of the Dreaming City vibes. And of course, you can't go wrong with fur on armor. God, this set makes me really wish that I had a female Titan, because I feel like this one won't look as good on a male Titan. I'll make sure to pop it up on screen here if I remember to make that for you guys. But maybe you do like the bulkier fashion. Well, I still have a Titan for you, because my Titan is an absolute unit. The best part is I'm using a pretty useful exotic, which is the Curus of the Falling Star. So this helmet has definitely found itself a home in my personal lineup. So yeah, the Titan set is fun, and I wouldn't let first appearances fool you. This will be a good set for you to mix and match with in the future. Alright, now let's talk about our hunter armor. This armor is filler armor. It's a term I've used before that describes armor that isn't the centerpiece of a set or the main focal point. Instead, you use it to fill in the gaps. Think of the Epialos helmet versus something like the Gumshoe helmet. Both are great, but one is more of a statement while the other one just kind of blends in and doesn't always draw your eyes directly to it. A real example of this would be this hunter from Mango. Your eyes are pulled up towards the helmet and the cloak, while the arms from the Solstice set are just there fitting in perfectly with the rest of the armor. You'll also see this happen with my set here. Even though my hunter is using the Eververse version, the one with the glow, the Solstice set just fades in with the rest of the armor. But that's enough of that. Now let's get a little bit crazy with this. Earlier I mentioned the Epialos helmet. Well, Grim Brother is back with another Dia de los Muertos like look, and this thing blew me away when I first saw it. This 100% has some fashion meta potential. The second all of you see it, you're gonna want to use it. Easily one of my favorite ones of the day. But don't think you have to stick with basic colors either. Check out this one from Vanquish. I love the way that the gold trim from the Solstice set complements the dragon's shadow super well. Now I know Blight Ranger may not be the most meta exotic out there, but hear me out. Look at how sick this hunter looks from Pulsar. This is one of those armor combos that just looks like it was a whole set pulled straight from Bungie. Last but not least, I wanted to show you this hunter that's the perfect set for those trip mine builds that you hunters love so much. I love how creature-like it looks, and it's such a solid set. And that's going to be it for me today, but hey, let's go ahead and keep this conversation going in the comments down below. Which set are you having the most fun with? And while you're already down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Our next stop is 80k subscribers. Shout out to all of my Patreon members who make videos like this possible. Without them, I would not be able to afford so much armor and Eververse items to then go ahead and show you guys for review. In the background, you're seeing a couple of their sets that they've recently shared with me. Go ahead and click on any of the videos popping up in your end card now. I'd recommend the Solstice tier list that I made the other day. I'll see you guys over there, and as always, stay beautiful.